do know hints at a unique culture.
From cannibal tribes to peaceful ones, our world is still dotted with groups of people disconnected from the modern world.
He's going to put his powerful spell into that rainforest bamboo and give it to the boys to drink.
Crossing paths with some of these tribes might lead to a horrifying death.
예로부터 이웃한 부족과 격렬한 전쟁을 끊임없이 치른 모르시죠.
So here is a list of the scariest tribes you do not want to meet. Number 1. The last frontier of Earth. Deep in the rainforests of Papua New Guinea lies one of the most remote tribes on Earth. Welcome to the territory of the Yaifo Tribe.
The Yaifo Tribe resides in the dense forests of Papua New Guinea, far from the modern world.
The Yaifo Tribe is known for being fiercely protective of their land and their way of life. They usually want nothing to do with outsiders, and if you wander into their territory, that's probably the last mistake you will ever make. They've perfected the art of staying hidden and maintaining their traditions, making them one of the last frontiers of untouched civilization on our planet. Over the years, many explorers and anthropologists have tried to connect with the Yaifo tribe. But guess what? They've been met with a big fat no. Number 2, the Korai Tribe. The Korai Tribe used to be known for practicing cannibalism as a form of justice.
That was fascinating. Talking with those guys, the way they talk about cannibalism, it wasn't some great ritual or we did it because we had to, we were starving.
You heard that right. If someone did something really bad, the tribe's way of dealing with it was cannibalism. In 1978, a Dutch missionary named Johannes Veldhuizen stumbled upon them by accident. Since then, he made it his mission to learn more about these elusive people, using the help of a local guide from the neighboring Chitak tribe. Now, the Korai and the Sitak people didn't always get along. Their conflicts often ended up in some pretty gruesome headhunting or even cannibalism. In recent years, the Korai have started to open up to the modern world, but they still hold on to many of their traditional ways. One of the coolest things about them is their tree houses. They believe that evil spirits stay on the ground, so by living up in the trees, they keep them away from their families. Number 3. The Warrior Tribe. The Suri, also known as Surma, are not your average friendly neighbors. The Suri are known for their striking body paint and huge and painful-looking lip plugs, and these aren't just fashion statements. The larger the lip plug, the more respect and social status a woman holds in the tribe. The stick-fighting ceremonies, known as donga. Fierce warriors, armed with nothing but sticks, facing off in brutal no-holds-barred battles. These fights aren't just for fun, they're a rite of passage, a test of bravery, and a way to settle disputes. Getting injured? Totally normal. Winning? Pure glory. These people are warriors at heart. Number 4, the isolated people. The Yanomami people are known for being super isolated. They live in the thickest parts of the Amazon, far away from modern civilization. But here's the kicker.
The Yanomami people are a warrior tribe. Conflicts between villages were frequent during his childhood, and the fighting could be particularly fierce.
They're also considered one of the most violent tribes in the world. The Yanomami have a reputation for a fierce warrior culture. They've been known to engage in violent conflicts with neighboring tribes. And trust me, you do not want to be caught in the middle of one of their battles. These guys have had some contact with the outside world thanks to explorers and missionaries. Unfortunately, this hasn't always been a good thing. Exposure to alcohol, diseases, and even more violence has had a significant impact on their society. But despite all this, the Yanomami have managed to stay mostly isolated. They've held on to their traditional ways of life, living in communal houses called shabonos and practicing their ancient customs. Number 5, the Violent Tribe. The Korai Tribe, also known as the Dislala Tribe, is one of the most ferocious tribes in Brazil.
O trabalho de Possuelo e sua gente converteu o javali em remenso de paz.
Now these guys are not messing around. Living deep in the Amazon basin, they've managed to keep their way of life pretty much untouched by the outside world. But they're super protective of their territory, and when the Brazilian government tried to reach out to them, things got real ugly, real fast. As the Korai Tribe killed more than a couple of government employees who dared to step into their territory. Number 6, the Uncontacted People. The Mashko-Piro people are one of the few uncontacted tribes left in the world.
It's an area thought to have the highest number of uncontacted tribes anywhere in the world.
Also known as the Cujareño people, they've been living deep in the Peruvian Amazon, away from modern civilization, for centuries. These guys are the real deal. They're totally off the grid, living as their ancestors did. They're so isolated that even just spotting them is rare. But here's the thing, if you do see them, it's best to keep your distance. Number 7, the Lost Tribe. The Moken Tribe, also known as the Sea Gypsies. These people have one of the most fascinating and eerie lifestyles you'll ever hear about. The Moken Tribe comes from the coastal regions of Burma and Thailand. They're called the Sea People because, well, they practically live on the sea. From birth to death, the ocean is their home. They dive like mermaids, catching fish with their bare hands and using some ancient, mysterious techniques to survive. Back in the day, the Moken were considered super dangerous. But guess what? Nowadays, the Mokens are mostly peaceful. They've been contacted by the governments of Burma and Thailand, and while they're still pretty elusive, they're not the terrifying sea warriors they once were. They've even opened up a bit to the outside world. Sadly, the Moken Tribe is on the verge of becoming one of the world's lost tribes. Modernization and changing times are threatening their traditional way of life as they slowly die out. Number 8, the Hunter Tribe. The Ayoreo are traditional hunter-gatherers, thriving in the heart of the jungle.
This is the hunting ground of the last uncontacted tribe south of the Amazon.
They live off the land, hunting wild game and gathering fruits and plants. But here's the thing. Due to massive deforestation, some of them are now choosing to leave the jungle and head to the cities. Back in the day, the Ayoreo were feared warriors. Strangers who dared to venture into their territory often found themselves in serious danger. These guys knew their land inside out and had the skills to defend it fiercely. Today, while many Ayoreo are adapting to life outside the jungle, those who remain in the forest can still be quite dangerous if encountered by outsiders. Their isolation has kept them wary and defensive. Number 9, the Day of the Dead. The Cacchiquel Maya tribe, residing in the stunning highlands of western Guatemala. These people are not just known for their rich history, but also for their incredible weaving skills and brightly colored garments. Trust me, their traditional clothing is some of the most recognized in the world. The women wear these beautiful woven blouses called huipils, and the men sport bright striped trousers with matching ponchos. The colors and patterns are not just for show. They carry deep cultural significance and tell stories of their heritage. And here's something super cool. The Cacchiquel Maya people speak their own language, Tsutujil. It's amazing to see how they've preserved their language and traditions despite the passage of time and external influences. These guys know how to celebrate. The Cacchiquel Maya have a calendar packed with festivals, including the Day of the Dead and All Saints' Day. Their celebrations are a riot of color, music, and dance deeply rooted in their ancient traditions. Number 10, the Spiritual Gatekeepers. The Korai Tribe is not just unique, they're spiritual leaders who call themselves the Elder Brothers. The Korai believe they live in the heart of the world. They see themselves as the guardians of the earth, living in perfect harmony with nature. They've kept their culture intact despite waves of invasions and outsiders trying to mess things up. The Korai are like the spiritual gatekeepers of the earth. They view the earth as a sacred entity, almost like a living, breathing being that needs to be respected and protected. They even have a unique way of raising their spiritual leaders. Young boys are taken into dark caves and kept away from sunlight for almost 18 years. Yeah, you heard that right. Years. This intense training is meant to help them connect deeply with their spiritual side and the natural world. Number 11, a 5,000-year-old tribe. The Sami tribe from the northernmost parts of Europe have been living in the icy realms of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia for over 5,000 years.
The history of the Sami goes back to the remote past. Their ancestors were known to ancient Greek and Roman authors.
Yep, you heard that right. What makes them stand out? Well, for starters, their deep roots in shamanism. Imagine living in one of the harshest climates on Earth and not just surviving, but thriving. These people have some crazy skills when it comes to adapting to the freezing cold. Many Sami still follow their traditional ways of life, like herding reindeer and hunting practices that have been passed down through generations. It's this deep connection to their heritage that makes the Sami so unique. They've managed to hold onto their identity despite everything the modern world throws at them. Number 12, the Forgotten Tribe. The Maori people are the original indigenous group of New Zealand.
Windswept islands on the edge of the world, a largely forgotten pacifist tribe known as the Moriori.
They've got a rich cultural heritage that spans over 1,000 years. One of the first things you probably think of when you hear Maori is the haka dance. And if you've ever seen it, you know it's intense. But the haka is just the beginning. The Maori are also famous for their tribal tattoos, known as tamoko. These aren't your typical ink jobs. We're talking full-face tattoos with intricate patterns that tell a story about the wearer's ancestry, status, and achievements. Number 13, the Eskimo Tribe. The Inuit tribe live in the icy realms of Canada and Greenland.
They have lived in the current area for about 1,000 years. They speak primarily Huli and Tukpinsin.
Their home is one of the most unforgiving places on Earth, with sub-zero temperatures. And no, they're not just surviving, they're absolutely thriving. They've got a unique culture that's been shaped by centuries of living in one of the harshest environments on the planet. From hunting seals, fishing in icy waters, to sewing up clothing made from animal skins, their traditional methods aren't just cool, they're crucial for staying alive out there. Plus, their incredible skills with kayaks and dog sleds are key to getting around the frozen landscape. And let's not forget their language. The Inuit have developed a super unique language that's as fascinating as their survival skills. It's not just about talking, it's a way of life that reflects their deep connection with the Arctic environment. Number 14, the Artistic Tribe. The Huli Tribe is nestled in the vibrant, dense highlands of Papua New Guinea. The Huli are famous for their elaborate dress and face paint. But this isn't just about looks. They believe that the more intricate their appearance, the more the spirits will be impressed. Their face paint is made from all natural stuff, including grass, mud, and even flowers. And those towering headdresses, they're crafted from feathers and leaves. It's like nature's own art project, but way more intense. Number 15, the Indigenous Tribe. The San people are the oldest indigenous group in the world, with roots stretching back over 100,000 years.
The physical skills are similar to those used for nest building.
They've been around longer than almost any other culture out there. Originally, they were nomadic hunters and gatherers, moving from place to place to hunt and forage. Nowadays, they've settled into permanent homes, but their rich history and traditions are very much alive. They have an incredible knack for survival. They're masters of tracking animals using just footprints and can whip up remedies from the plants around them, keeping them healthy and thriving. But that's not all. Their singing and dance rituals are considered the world's oldest musical tradition. It's like stepping back in time every time they perform. Number 16. The Unique Tribe. Based in Namibia, the Himba are one of the few tribes that still live a pastoral lifestyle.
The Himba people of Namibia are nomadic and have retained their way of life for thousands of years.
That means they're mostly on the move, keeping their cattle close, which is pretty much their lifeline. Now, what really sets the Himba apart is their incredible traditional attire and hairstyles. The Himba use a thick, red paste made from butterfat, ochre, and resin to cover their skin. This isn't just for looks, it's a crucial part of their culture and protects their skin from the harsh desert sun. The Himba's hairdos are not just unique, they're works of art. Each style tells a story and has deep cultural significance. Number 17. The Navajo Tribe. The Navajo Tribe are not to be taken lightly. Their social organization is something out of a legend. They've got this complex system of clans and family ties that's like a massive web connecting everyone. They're super tight-knit and have a way of looking out for each other that's really special. The Navajo people follow animism, which means they believe that everything in nature has a spirit. We're talking about rocks, rivers, animals. Basically, the entire world is alive with energy and meaning. Number 18. The Mud-Covered People. Discovered by outsiders only about 75 years ago, the Assaro Mudmen have a look that's, well, let's just say it's not exactly something you'd want to run into in the dark. They cover themselves from head to toe in mud. Yep, mud. And there are actually two pretty intense reasons for this. First up, these guys believe that by slathering themselves in mud, they're channeling the spirits they worship. And if you think that's enough to make them the scariest tribe around, there's more. The mud look also serves as a major intimidation tactic. The Assaro Mudmen use their muddy appearance to scare rival tribes. Number 19. The Tribes of Palawan. Palawan is a stunning island in the Philippines, known for its crystal clear waters and amazing wildlife. But hidden away in the southern part of this paradise is a tribe that's been living in semi-isolation for ages. Meet the Papuan Tribe. These guys are pretty elusive, with around 40,000 members living a nomadic lifestyle. They practice something called shifting cultivation. Basically, they farm an area for a while and then move on to another spot, letting the old one regenerate. Number 20, the tribes living on cliffs. The Dogon tribe is huge, with over 400,000 people living in about 700 small villages. These villages are perched along some pretty epic cliffs in Mali, West Africa.
Undogumo, a little village right under the cliffs of the Bandiagara Scarp in eastern Mali.
The Dogon have had some interactions with the outside world. They've been known to sell artifacts to collectors and even fertilizer to buyers. But don't let that fool you into thinking they're all friendly and open. Recently, things have gotten a bit intense. It's been reported that there's been some unrest within the tribe. This has made visitors pretty scarce, and to top it off, poor harvests have made life really tough for the Dogon. It's like the perfect storm of reasons to steer clear. Number 21. The Papuan Tribes. West Papua is an Indonesian province that's home to over 300 secretive tribes.
It's a living culture. It has been passed from generation to generation.
These tribes live in some of the most remote and rugged areas you can imagine. We're talking highlands that are super tough to reach. Some of these tribes have limited contact with the outside world, keeping their ancient traditions alive and well. One of the wildest things about these tribes is the territorial conflicts. Number 22. The last uncontacted tribes. The Javari Valley, or as the locals call it, Vale du Javari, is home to around 20 secret tribes. And out of these, about 2,000 people are uncontacted. This area is super remote, and the people who live here are some of the most isolated on the planet. These tribes are master hunters. They use traditional methods to hunt and grow food, with weapons such as clubs, spears, and bows to protect themselves. Number 23, the Endangered Tribe. The AWA tribe is known as the world's most endangered tribe, and there's a reason for that. With only around 500 members left, about 100 of them live deep in the Amazon forest, right along the Brazil-Peru border. The Awa are incredibly skilled at living in harmony with nature, but National Geographic has reported that the Awa live with constant threats from wildfires and illegal logging, leading to the tribe's slow death over time. Number 24, last of the Kawahiva tribe. The last of the Kawahiva tribesmen live deep in the Amazon rainforest, but it's not exactly by choice. Thanks to massive deforestation, their land has been shrinking like crazy, with a lush, endless green jungle being chopped down, leaving them with nowhere to go but deeper into hiding. Number 25, the Last Cannibals. The Yali people are a major tribal group living to the east of the Baliem Valley in the Papuan Highlands. One of the key reasons the Yali have managed to maintain their unique lifestyle is because their lands are incredibly isolated. We're talking hours of trekking through rough terrains just to reach their villages. And believe it or not, the Yali had no contact with the outside world until the 1960s. They've been living in what can be described as a sovereign region under Indonesian control, but their way of life remains largely untouched. Number 26. The Nomad Tribe. Imagine living at the tip of Siberia, where winter temperatures can drop to a bone-chilling 54 degrees C, and summers barely hit 10 degrees C. Sounds brutal, right? Well, welcome to Chukotka, the harsh homeland of the Chukchi people. The Chukchi live in the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug, a place where the landscape is mostly treeless Arctic plains. But these people are the ultimate survivors. Not only do they endure one of the most unforgiving climates on the planet, but they have also managed to survive the Soviet Union's relentless efforts to wipe them out. And despite all these challenges, the Chukchi have held on to their traditional way of life. They're expert reindeer herders and have a deep connection with their land and culture. Number 27, the Yao Tribe. The southern end of Lake Malawi is home to the Wayao or Yao people. These people are spread over Malawi, Mozambique, and Tanzania, and there are about 2 million of them. The name Wayao means hill people, or those who come from the hills. The Yao are super interesting because they're matrilineal. That means they trace their heritage and lineage through the women. So, their village societies are built around these sorority groups called Mbumba. Number 28, the Wingmen Tribe. The Huli Wigmen, a 40,000 people strong tribe, have some of the most unique traditions of harvesting their mane. They grow out their hair, cut it, and then fashion it into wigs. And it doesn't stop there. They use bright yellow face paint, which makes them look even more formidable. Add to that a clawed axe, an apron of leaves, and a belt with dangling pigtails, and you've got yourself one intimidating figure. The Huli Wigmen are also famous for their traditional bird dance. They mimic the birds of paradise found on the island, with movements that are both mesmerizing and a little eerie. Number 29. Not the warmest welcome. The Sentinelese live on North Sentinel Island, and they're known for being fiercely protective of their land.
Virtually untouched by modern civilization, the Sentinelese continue to live a hunter-gatherer lifestyle.
No agriculture, no fancy tech, just pure hunter-gatherer vibes. And get this, no one really knows how many of them there are. Estimates hover around 250, but that's just a guess. Back in the 19th century, the British Raj tried to make contact, and the Sentinelese greeted them with a bunch of arrows, making it clear they weren't interested in a meet and greet. If you found this exploration of the scariest tribes on Earth fascinating, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.